Set sail immediately! Why do you bother looking at life through a microscope when you could be looking with your eyes, feeling the wind on your face?
Well, these would be solar winds we're talking about, and if your face was in space unprotected, I'm sure it would be less exhilarating. This is why we need to prepare.
What can prepare you for seeing something that no human has seen before?
Yes, but being alive and protected while you look at it would help. We have a responsibility to future generations to enable them to share our discoveries peacefully and safely.
It is for the honor of our ancestors that we journey.
And we need to consider the numbers of people we carry. For instance, we have learned a community of 160 is ideal.
We can breed with the local population. It is the Viking way.
Well, yes, but that may be tricky if they have tentacles, or communicate by squirting gas at each other, or procreate by releasing spores. We need to plan so everyone survives.
You spent your life preparing for this journey, but you will be too old and withered to make it.
But you misunderstand. I know this is urgent. This won't hold us back. We need to explore the universe now.
Let's sail beyond the sunset.
We cannot stay here forever.
When the ice meets the fire, when science meets the Viking world, the expedition starts by Thor's thunder. Yeah!
And bonjour! Hello, Design Indaba, this is it! Yes, 3 times in a row! Boom! So yeah, this is it. You probably wonder what the hell is going on. It's all going to make sense in a bit of time. But first off, let me introduce myself. I'm Nelly Ben Hayoun et je suis très, très French. And I sound terribly, terribly French, and I'm really sorry about this. But, you know, hopefully you will catch up with these things because we are going to have like an amazing array of scientists joining us, and lucky you, they actually have English as their first language, which is not my case. So basically this presentation, like Michael said, thank you, Michael, is going to be very much like that. Absolute chaos. You know, we are going to be bombarded. You're going to meet people from NASA, from SETI, from outer space, aliens. You're going to meet Vikings and all of that at the same time. And this I call the design of experiences. So before I get into the core of what we are going to experience together today we are going into a big expedition, right? I'm going to just tell you a bit more about what I do, you know, because you probably wonder, you know, what this woman is doing, what is this, the design of experiences? So, you know, this is what I do in my studio, which I run in London since 2009. And basically what we do, we actually think about these things. We think about how we can engage members of the public with the complex ideas behind, you know, science, behind our futures, and we do it through these different axes. We do critical design. If you don't know what critical design is, it's all about actually looking at design as a place to develop platform for members of the public to engage with our future. So it's not design as a chair or a table. It's kind of more a platform, so it can take any form. We use a lot of theatrical practices. T this morning was talking about theater. For me, it's all about the theater of cruelty. You know, I like to vomit on my audience. I mean, I don't do it, but you know, that's the idea. I like this brutal connection with you guys, and it's usually quite intense, and I believe in the performance of politics, you know. I work with a lot of institutions, and what I try to do is to modify power structure when I come in. So basically, if you invite me in your company, just know I will stay. Once I'm in, I stay. And I move and I shake up everything. And then existentialism. We believe that nothing is impossible. You have to just make it happen. That's it. So you find us in places like this. We work a lot with scientists. This is at the Large Hadron Collider. That's a chair that gives you the full experience of a rocket liftoff. So we design extreme experience for you to actually access places that usually you wouldn't be able to access. So when I came in Design Indaba the first time, I was actually dressed up in my special astronaut outfit for this year. Do you remember it? Did people were there for that time? Yeah, that's it. We have some like regular here, nice. Here we have, so in order to give you this full experience, it doesn't make sense for me to develop an experience if I don't work with actual people who know what it feels like to go in a rocket. This woman here, what she's doing, she's actually generating dark energy in your kitchen sink. So, and again, that might look totally insane with you, but these things are developed with the scientists, so it's as close as it can be to the reality, so she can eat her pancake face-to-face to the unknown. Here, it's a project where I did burn my entire flat. I keep on moving all the time in London. That's the one thing I do, yeah. This is called The Other Volcano, and it's a project in which we question what the future of entertainment might be like. Do you want to risk your life in order to feel the thrill of entertainment? Super K sonic boom, what does it feel like to experience a sonic boom when a particle is traveling faster than the speed of light while you are in the midst of your bathroom? This is what we develop. And then we have an orchestra at NASA since 5 years now. It's called the International Space Orchestra, no kidding. NASA scientists can sing, yeah, it's possible. And here, that's all of them, 43. And actually, you wouldn't believe, but these guys have performed on the biggest stage you can think of. They don't perform the beauty of, of space missions. They actually reenact everything that went wrong in the space program. They share the actual craft and humanity behind the space mission through the use of music. So they perform with Beck, then they perform with Savages as a Fillmore Theater, which if you don't know the Fillmore, that's the place where Janis Joplin started. So it's like these guys are actually becoming like real rock stars, Then last September, they actually performed with Sigoros, which is an Icelandic band at the Hollywood Bowl. They did that, yes. And then now they just are permanently in space because for every astronaut that go in the International Space Station, then they can listen to the International Space Orchestra. So you see, nothing is impossible. We also look into asteroids, total bombardment, and we have a university which I will present and introduce you to. I'm going to kind of move into these things, but I think it's important for you to know that I have two trademarks, right? The first one is the hammering technique. The hammering technique is basically when someone tells you no, for me it's a massive yes. So if they tell me no, then they take the time to actually reply to me. So that's an opportunity to turn that no into a yes. So basically, when I tried to hack into the space agencies, it took me 7 years to get there. But then eventually, after going back and going back and going back again and again and again, basically, eventually, it did the job and I got in, right? That's the hammering technique for you. Then the other trademark is the total bombardment, which unfortunately for you guys, you're going to have to experience today. The total bombardment, that's the one thing, people, they tell you, oh, you just have to be one thing in your life, and, otherwise people don't make sense of it, it's too complicated. I don't believe that at all, In the business in which I am, which is all about you guys, the audience, then there is different type of audience, and in order to make sense of one specific research and to one specific audience, then you pretty much need to be working for every single company on this planet, right? So then you can really focus on each of these audiences. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, it's not about having one job. It's about having about 55 of them. So, I run my studio, as you can see here, but then I'm also Wired Innovation Fellow, so I work a lot with tech companies. I also work for the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute, yes. We are looking for whether or not we are alone in the universe. My neighbors are looking at how dolphins communicate between each other and how that might inform our communication with what might be out there. Are we alone? Yes, possibly. It's not a cuckoo place. It's an actual scientific institution, which was created in 1986, will you believe, by people like Jill Tarter and Frank Drake, the people that actually sent the golden record in space. And for them, I actually try and figure out ways to engage members of the public with this very fundamental question. What is above? What is below? How can we design experience for members of the public to actually question these things? And then I work for WeTransfer, amazing company, digital partner, which you will hear all about if you come to see me talking about the University of the Underground. So where I developed this experience with their 90 million active users, Astronautical Federation, where we speak about politics and the future of space exploration. So it pretty much ended up being like that, and this is what I call the total bombardment. And most recently, this is the ultimate total bombardment. We got into an actual Barbie. Mais oui! So, and she's got a removable helmet. So this is it for you, the total bombardment. Now I'm going to move into actually why, you know, that was just a bit of a context, but now be prepared. Now, so now we are going to go on a long journey together, a really long journey. You know, I mean, I usually come up with quite insane projects, but I think this one is probably the biggest one I ever kind of, you know, got into. And it's called The Life, the Sea, and the Space Viking. And you just got a bit of a hint of what this is. It involves Viking, it involves biologists, and it involves a lot of places. So The Life, the Sea, and the Space Viking, we are actually looking at these people, the Vikings, right? These explorers that kind of conquer the entire sea. They went all around the place. And, you know, the Viking, we can say whatever we want, but they weren't scared. They just went for it. They went to discover what the world had to offer. And to some extent, nowadays, we have this new science, right? And this new space science as well, which is called extremophiles. Extremophiles are these bacteria that you can only find in the most extreme places of our world. They only exist, you know, they exist where we think that there is no life. So, for example, minus 11 kilometers underwater, you might actually find some form of life while we thought this was impossible. But the most interesting thing is actually what is here on Earth can possibly be used to colonize other planets. Because actually, we have this new technology which is called terraforming. Terraforming is about trying to figure out a way that we could eventually, as a human species, move on to Mars. But in order to do that, we need to breathe. And in order to breathe, you need to send bacteria first to develop an atmosphere for us human beings to live. So, you know, we, in this mission, The Life, the Sea, and the Space Viking, we take you, member of the public, through this journey where you're going to connect these two scales from the minus 11 kilometers underwater all the way to the greatest heights of this universe. So what I reckon we should do next is actually really investigate whether or not, you know, actually I have the Viking gene. Because if you want to get on with an expedition like this, right, you better get what it takes to be a good explorer, don't you think? This is where we go. We will go in the dry valley of Antarctica to collect some of this form of life. We will go in Mexico to collect some of this form of life. We will go in Chile as well. In all these places, which are the most extreme places of our world, there is form of life that you can collect and actually engineer. And we have as well a band on board of this expedition. They are called Sigoros. They are an Icelandic band, and they will be coming and joining us into this expedition. So the way it's going to be is I'm going to take you through this expedition through 5 different acts. The same way that we will go through all of this, you know, basically TV series that we are trying to put together, right? So the actor one is going to be about how we can become all Viking women. I think it's better to be a woman Viking, you know, if we were to choose. I think women have so much more to offer. On how to build a Viking ship. We will go, because of course you cannot go in an expedition unless you have a bloody good vehicle. Then we are going to go in Antarctica, then we will go and investigate the worms of hell. And then finally we will go in the vertigo of the final frontier. So first off, let's go and investigate whether or not I will be a good Viking woman. Let's just call Kari Stephenson. So, Kari Stephenson is the man behind Decode. If you don't know Decode, that's a place in Iceland where they have basically screened 95% of the Icelandic population, and he's an amazing geneticist and a dear friend, and he's coming as well to help me to find our crew who needs to have that gene. So let's just give a call to Kari. So let's go. Kari, Act 1. Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello, Kari? Are you here?
Good morning, good morning, good day. Yes,
Good day.
I'm here in South Africa.
Yes, you are in South Africa. Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you loud and clear.
Nice. So tell us about you, Kari. Who are you?
My name is Kari Stephenson. I'm a geneticist I founded Ecogenetics about 21 years ago, and we have some insight of Ecogenetics into the genome of almost the entire Icelandic nation.
Right, so tell us a bit more about this genetic stuff.
I can tell you a story about genetics. I can tell you a story about novelty seeking, because the explorer has to want to do something new. The explorer is looking at new territory. He's trying to discover something new about the world we live in. Here at Ecogenetics, or at Ecogenetics where I work, we have been studying creativity through genetics a little bit. And the way in which we did it originally is that we took mutations in the genome that increased the risk of schizophrenia. We asked the question, will you find higher score in the creative professions? And we indeed showed that they have substantially higher risk score for schizophrenia than the population in general. So schizophrenia and creativity share biology. So the quality that gave us the music of Beethoven, Bach, and Mozart are qualities that 1% of the population pays a price for, which we call schizophrenia.
Yeah. So tell me,
I think you can easily go into outer space, explore new planets, do whatever, everything except being quiet. You have all the qualities necessary to become a Viking. So I think you would be a good female Viking.
That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so should I just go?
To test this is simply to go out and see whether you survive.
All right, so maybe I just go then. I
will see you later.
All right, well, thank you, Carrie. Well, I guess next we just have to go and build that ship. Let's go! Let's make that ship happen. This is it, people. We have a ship, but actually it's not well built yet. And actually, the lucky thing is that in Cape Town, there is some people who know how to build a good Viking ship. And here is one of them. Here is Mark. Mark, people, give him a round of applause. This is not easy. Come on, bonjour, Mark.
Good day.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm very good. So I was told that you can build me a Viking ship in Cape Town. Is that correct?
Yes, that's quite possible.
All right. Tell these guys how you build a Viking ship then.
Well, Vikings have pioneered shipbuilding. It's taken them quite a long time to develop it, but they've been the pioneers of it. And basically it consists of strips of wood and iron rivets.
Right, so you will feel confident that you can do that in Cape Town, right?
No, that's very possible, yes.
So no point for me to go in Norway, you know, all of that? No.
No, you can just go to Pardon Island. So.
And if these guys want to have their ship made as well, where can they find you?
They can contact me through my website, workboatafrica.com.
There, that's it, guys. If you want a Viking ship, he is a man. Thank you so much, Mark.
Pleasure.
Thanks for your support. Can you take this as well with you? I leave it with you. Thank you. Well, Mark is a really lovely man, but can I just say that when it comes to building very complex vehicles, I prefer to put my life in the hands of women. And therefore, I'm going to call my dear friend, Sylvia Earle. Sylvia Earle, if you don't know her, Tate Prize winner, first woman that kind of went deep down as an aquanaut. She's also, her deepness, she's called. She was the director of NOAA for quite a while. And she basically knows everything about what you need to know about going underwater. And she's donating some submersible with her daughter, Liz, to the expedition. So we are just going to give a call to, Liz and Sylvia and ask them actually how they will build this thing. So let's give a call to our dear friends. Are they coming? Liz, Sylvia? Hello? Is they coming? This is it? Yes? Bonjour. Hello? Ah, yes. Hello? Yes, bonjour. How are you guys?
Well, we really solve underwater problems of any kind that are thrown at us. They come all the time, but 25 years of this, it's crazy.
So what advice do you give me for this expedition then?
We want to directly explore with the submersibles, of course, to really emulate the same way that we've taken people directly into space, and we should go directly into the sea. But we also need the robots to do some of the sampling work, and I think that there's a good combination of both of them could really be excellent for the expeditions that we're planning.
Nice. So if we go deep down then and we look for extremophiles, how important it is to, you know, find these extremophiles for other life?
We are the extremophiles. No, seriously, humans, we are air breathers. Most of life on Earth lives in the sea, and most of it lives in the deep sea. When we think of extreme, of course we put it in our own frame of reference. When you think, how has Earth been shaped as a place habitable for humankind? Well, microbes, they do the heavy lifting in terms of generating oxygen and picking up carbon, driving the chemistry of the planet.
So now we really need to show these guys that it's so important to go.
How we can explain these stories and get people to understand how much life there is out there to be found. Every expedition will find something new, and I'm really looking forward to it.
It's an unprecedented opportunity to just enlighten people about the importance of the blue part of our home planet. We should go to Mars. We should go to Jupiter. We should go as far as we can take our bodies and our minds, but we certainly do need to explore this part of the universe. And now, as never before, we really have that opportunity.
Aren't they brilliant, right? Amazing, Sylvia and Liz, yes. They share some of their time for this. We are so grateful for them. Now, of course, if you have a vehicle, you also need to record an expedition like this, right? And when it comes to actually finding experts that can tell me how I need to plan to record this for the future generation, then here comes the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute, and who used to be the director, Jill Tarter. So Jill Tarter is a woman, you know, behind Contact. Have you seen the film Contact, where you have Jodie Foster going everywhere trying to look for alien form of life? Well, Jill is the woman that actually is behind that film, and Jill is going to tell me a bit more about how we can plan for this and what we should do to record it. But first off, let's meet her. Hello. Hello, hello, Jill, bonjour.
Hello, Nelly, how are you?
I am very good. You're in South Africa, Jill.
Hello there, South Africa.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about you.
For years, I directed the Center for SETI Research at the SETI Institute, and now I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of the SETI Institute. And just like you, Nelly, I'm a cheerleader and trying to raise awareness and support for this really important endeavor, as your Viking expedition is also one of these really important gotta-do-it things. Humans need to look beyond themselves.
Totally, yes. So Jill, tell me what interests you in this field.
I'm passionate about trying to find answers to the question of, are we alone, and whether there's life, and even intelligent life, somewhere beyond our planet.
So tell me, what should I do?
The easiest thing for us in the 21st century to find would be signals, electromagnetic signals, radio signals, optical signals, messages intended to be detected over these vast distances.
So, you know, for this expedition, I'm trying to find a way to record it. What do you think I should do in order to record that expedition? What would be the ideal thing to do? What do you think?
Nelly, perhaps in order to record this epic voyage that you're going to be taking, you should create a beautiful fabric
Where
tapestry
is that beautiful piece of tapestry that we've done?
This is it. About
very nice.
The search.
Look at this. It's just
what
a
we're
start.
Looking for, the people who took part in it,
nice.
the tools that were used, the ship, the instruments, and what was found. Because this fabric can endure over centuries, over millennia, and tell the story of the Viking, your modern Viking expedition, to future generations. I think that's what you should do.
Well, we have a bit of a problem here because it's square. I mean, our tapestry is square.
It's a tapestry. It's a story.
Not ideal.
So it has an arrow of time.
Yeah.
That means I think that the tapestry will not be square. Yeah. It probably should be very long. And at the very end of this beautiful long tapestry, what did we learn? And how much more do we know about life on Earth, life elsewhere?
So we fucked up a bit because it's square, but where should we go next then? Where should we go next in our expedition? Even though our tapestry is not quite right. I mean, we have someone here.
So I think you ought to go talk to one of the scientists at the SETI Institute, Dale Anderson.
Let's do that.
I know that he's eager to go back to the Antarctic in any way possible to study the extreme life there. And I think you and Dale and all of the other people that you've assembled and me should get on with it.
Boom! Thank you so much, Jill. And while we leave Jill, then we are going to go and meet with Dale in Antarctica. Yes, we are going to go in Antarctica. We are really lucky because today we have someone from Cape Town, the Tapestry Guild. His name is Mike, and you're going to give him a massive round of applause. People, I know it's after lunchtime, but you better wake up. This man here make tapestry in Cape Town. So, Mike, tell us, we obviously have not done it really well here because we have a square thing, but she wants a long piece of tapestry. Can you pull this up as well in Cape Town?
Absolutely. We can make it as long as you need it to be. It'll be a beautiful piece of cloth, the perfect medium to record your voyage.
Nice. So what are you going to do right now? Like, can you just improvise for us? Like?
Well, the problem that I have is this is actually a loom, which makes cloth. So it's not a tapestry. It isn't on a frame or anything like that. So I can make you a beautiful medium on which to record this.
Well, but Ravi promised me that I was going to have someone who is going to make tapestry here. Thank you, Ravi. I will remember that. So, okay, so this is a loom, right? But that's fine. That's fine. I mean, you know, we will do with it. We are really happy to have you, Mike. You're a really lovely gent. Yeah, there is a big party after. We will see each other again. So, and now I'm just going to go to Antarctica, people, because I think, you know, as Jill told us, you know, we have to go. We have to go and investigate a bit more. And there is some people out there, especially, you know, in the SETI Institute, who know about extremophiles. So let's just go and find them. Antarctica, people. Definitely not like Cape Town, I can tell you that. For this part of the expedition, I will have to train with actual ice cube in my bathtub for about 3 months just to get used to it. Just saying. And then eventually we are going to go in sites like this, which are sites that Dale Anderson, our next scientist, has been investigating for the past 20 years. He's been going in Antarctica. And he knows all about this really cold environment. So let's just go and give him a call and figure out how and what we are going to do in Antarctica. Dale, are you coming, Dale? Oui, bonjour. Hello? Hello, Dale? Dale, are you here?
Hello, Nelly.
Ah, Dale, yay, how are you?
Bonjour, South Africa. I was
Yes.
in Cape Town not too long ago, coming back from Antarctica. It's our gateway to the south. This is where we leave to
really
go to
cold
the
here.
Antarctic, and then we come back through Cape Town on the way home.
So tell us what you do, Dale.
Well, I'm a scientist at the Carl Sagan Center with the SETI Institute. And my job right now is to skidoo into the mountains of Antarctica and then go swimming for science. So I'm an explorer, I'm an astrobiologist, and I'm looking for evidence of life on places like Mars, Enceladus, the outer moons of Saturn and Jupiter, Enceladus and Europa.
And what do you find in Antarctica? What are we seeing on the screen right now?
Well, I'm getting ready to go diving beneath this ice cover. And what's really incredible about these lakes is that they give us the opportunity to look at life on Earth 3 billion years ago. So it's like a postcard from the past. The cool thing about these lakes is there's no fish, there's no insects, there's no larger animals or things like that. It's strictly microbial, just like it was 3.5 billion years ago. So what you're looking at underwater is a microbial mat. These are cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, and they're forming what are called stromatolites. And these are modern stromatolites, and their ancient cousins thrived on Earth 3.5 billion years ago, and they're preserved in the fossil record, and that's how we know that they were there. And it was actually the cyanobacteria early on that provided the atmosphere that we have today with the oxygen in it. So oxygen is due to photosynthesis, and they were the earliest photosynthesizers on the planet, and they changed and altered the course of the history of this planet by putting that oxygen into our atmosphere like they did back 3 billion years ago.
So are there any other place where I can find these extremophiles or things like that?
Yeah, Nelly, so there's other places that are interesting too, and one of those is actually here in South Africa, and those are some of the gold mines. And what's really neat about that is you've got a very in-hospital environment as you go deeper into the mine, where the temperatures go way up, and the ability for microorganisms to live there becomes really, really limited because there's very few nutrients, and it's hard to make a living, even for a microbe. So it's a really cool place to take a look, but it's a really hot place too. It's hard to work there as a scientist.
Right. Sounds like the perfect place to go. And we are going to do a rock concert as well as part of the expedition. Where shall we record sound in Antarctica? Yeah? Where do we go?
Oh, there's going to be lots of opportunities for lots of different sounds depending on where we're at, anywhere in the Antarctic. So it's really cool. It's very noisy at times and it's very quiet at times.
Great. Okay. Let's just go now. Let's just go and investigate, not the golden mine, but let's just go and investigate, like platinum mine. Let's go deep, deep, deep down to our next destination. Okay, so for Design Indaba, I went deep, deep down. I went deeper than the deepest. I went into the platinum mine of Zonderheiden. Zonderheiden, which basically means never end, just so you know. And we did a bit of a recording while I went there, so I went there just before I arrived in Design Indaba. And I actually brought you back some kind of quite exceptional organism, which actually made our next scientists really famous everywhere. These guys there, what I'm holding, they are called the worms of hell, people. They are the deepest living organisms that you can find on Earth. And they were found by this man called Tulison Stott in the platinum mine. So we've got them here. I will hope that I can bring them back and study them. But for now, this is a special gift for you, Ravi and the team. You can keep the worms of hell. They are our ancestors, the most amazing of them. And I propose that we just watch a bit of this video because, we went there, so we might as well. And can I just say, that massive thank you to Kate Morris, our incredible designer here, who actually has been helping me out with the editing of this video, which, as you can see, it was bloody hot down there. It was like probably the most extreme thing I've done so far. Okay, let's just have a look to this. And so is it the deepest mine in the world?
The deepest platinum mine.
Do you get platinum as a gift when you work in the platinum mine?
I wish.
To the worms of hell. Amazing, this is it. Let's take a picture of us. And then you can collect. Where can you see the little microorganisms?
You won't be able to see them here. You'll probably see them from the sample in the lab.
Do you want some water?
I'm fine for now. Oh, but we need to finish the water.
You want to start before I put red lipstick everywhere?
No. Okay. Don't forget and drink the water. Nice. Let's hope you'll get something from there.
Goodbye, the worms of hell.
If something happens, say there's a fire, and whatever, it's where you escape to for safety. You can go in if you want.
It's really hot in there.
So everybody will escape in here. There's a phone to call control, there's water to drink. Then they shut the door so that the smoke doesn't come in if there's a fire. And yeah.
What are these little lights, these guys? The red light there.
That's the explosives bay.
Okay.
When they blast when everybody's out.
Yeah, fair enough. And they check that everybody is out, right?
Yes.
Just asking. Okay, Zanelli, let's go. We have to hit the road. Wow, that was quite a trip here, I can tell you that. But you know, that's the kind of extremity we go to be in Design Indaba. Nearly killed myself on this one. But we survived it, and I propose that we actually look into what Tulis, our very amazing scientist, has to say about this microorganism. So let's just give a call to Tulis. Can I have a little fun? Where are you? Where are you? Hello,
yes,
hello?
I'm here.
Yes.
Voilà,
thank you.
So I'm Thomas Onstad, Princeton University. I'm a geomicrobiologist, but my passion is to look for life deep underneath the surface of the Earth. And you would think that that's the last place you would want to go to find life, but in fact, we find it flourishing down there. And how do you do that? Well, you go to places like South Africa.
So what is it about South Africa which is so unique? I mean, we know what it is, but what is it down there?
The thing about South Africa that makes it so fantastic for somebody like me is that you can go 2 miles underground by just dropping in an elevator cage. You know, you're reaching depths that people drill to get oil on the United States, but here it's just a car ride and an elevator drop away, and then you find all these most interesting organisms living in the cracks and the crevices of these rocks down there.
So tell us, what is this worms of hell thing? What does that mean even? How do they work? How do they function? How do they survive? And will they be able to survive in Mars?
The reason why I think what we've discovered in South Africa is what you would anticipate discovering. If you were able to go beneath the surface of Mars today, they would be there and living. And the reason why is because they're feeding off of radiation, they're making methane, and we know that methane does appear to be present on Mars. So we're very optimistic that these methane-related communities are there on Mars.
So, do you think we should just send them up there then and see whether or not they can
You're
live?
a mile beneath the surface, crawling along the surface of the rock where the biofilms exist is the worm from hell. And so it basically doesn't swim, it basically just eats those organisms. So it's developed a taste for these chemolithotropes. So it's eating them and then it reproduces asexually. So it may reproduce, not so often, every now and then when it gets enough
these guys,
energy to be able to do something like that. And then continues, crawling along and eating until eventually it, of course, dies.
So to finalize, what will be the biggest challenge, do you think, to bring this extremophile to other planets?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Particularly if you start thinking about doing something like colonizing Mars and trying to change its environment over time. And how would you do that? And one possibility is to make a lot of methane in the atmosphere to improve the temperature warming on the surface. But I'll let Chris McKay talk to you about that.
Okay, so this is it, guys. We went through everything. Now we need to send bacteria in space. And the specialist in that is Dr. Chris McKay, who is working at NASA and is an incredible scientist who is looking into whether or not we should actually send this microorganism on other planets to populate them before we even go there. So I just propose that we give him a last call, and I promise you this is the last series of the call. I hope you're still alive and awake. Are you still alive? Yes, that's the spirit. Okay, Chris, let's call you.
Ellie, bonjour Earth, bonjour South Africa, bonjour everybody.
Such a nice guy, look at this. Tell us what you do.
My name is Chris McKay. I'm a planetary scientist with NASA, and I'm interested in Mars, life in extreme environments on Earth, and everything in between.
Nice job. So tell us about the idea about solving problem of climate change on Earth. What are your ideas about doing that?
The big idea to consider is the possibility of making Mars a planet that has life. Sometimes that's called terraforming, but the word is a little bit off. Really, the idea is to make Mars a planet suitable for life. And in a way, the motivation for that idea is that our study of Mars indicates that early in its past, early in its history, long ago, it did have water and it did have conditions suitable for life, and maybe it had life as well. So in a way, what we're trying to do is restore Mars to a state of full biology. And the connection to Earth, of course, is that if we study Mars and study what is required to restore it to full biology and to maintain it that way, hopefully we will learn important lessons about how to maintain full biology on Earth. That's the idea, and that's the idea of biology on Mars, I think, is both intrinsically interesting, but it's also informative and relevant to our survival on Earth.
So, do you think we should consider such radical change?
Well, I would suggest 2 points on that question, Nelly. First, it may seem outrageous to talk about warming up an entire planet, making Mars warmer. But in fact, we are already doing that on Earth. We are making the Earth warmer. So the aspects of terraforming, of making Mars a rich biology, that seem science fiction, well, those aspects, we are already doing them on Earth. So it is not fiction, it is fact. It is actually happening here on Earth. And that gives us a very interesting perspective on what we're doing on Earth. The second point, and a related point, is that sometimes the best way to see something is to see it from a distance. And that may be true also as we think about the Earth. That the perspective from space, from very high up looking down, and the perspective from Mars looking back, may be a useful complement to the way of looking at the Earth from inside. I'm not saying we abandon studying the Earth from the inside, but that this outside view, the view from space, the view from very high, the view from another planet, these are views that complement the view that we get from deep inside the Earth, where we are naturally prone to be looking.
So if we go to Mars, then what will we send there, and who should we send there?
If we go to Mars and find that there's no life there, or that it is long gone, then we send volunteers from Earth. And these organisms from extreme environments would be the first Martians to go.
Well, so thank you to all our amazing scientists. What I propose now is just to actually go, really, and it is most urgent, don't we think?
Absolutely urgent.
It's really most urgent that we start this expedition now and get the planning underway, because it does take a lot of effort getting down there.
It's a sense of urgency as never before, maybe as never again. We have a chance to, by knowing, take care of the future of humankind.
It is most urgent that we set sail
Yes, people, and we can all go together. This is a letter from Hans Ulrich, who is, as you know, the kind of the guy that always say it is most urgent, but this time he does recognize that this expedition is most urgent. What I propose you to do is now we just go. We just go, we just hit the road, and if any of you want to join us, then you're more than welcome. I mean, I'm actually going to ask you to join me right now, but also in the expedition, if you feel that this is something that we should be talking about, if you feel, people, that we should all be a part of this discussion, because currently it's all happening behind closed doors, then this is the time to actually come and talk to me and tell me that you want to support this thing. It is research and development phase. We are looking for the next round of fun to actually make it to the next, to the next level, to go to Antarctica, to go in the Crystal Cave. And I think that maybe there is a few of you here that will want to join us. So what I propose is just to hit the road. And can I actually ask you all to come and push me out of this? Let's just go. Let's just go. Come on, people. Come and push us. Come on, come on, come on the boat. Don't miss the ride. Come on, allez. Come here. What are you doing, Cape Town? Come on, stand up. It is good sports. That's the vibe. Like, come on. My God, I never saw Cape Town being so. Come on, people. Shake me up on this set. Push me out of this boat, otherwise I just stay here forever. It's a choice. Either I go or I leave. Come on, come on, come on, get me. Push me out of this place. Let's hit the road. Come on, let's push it. Let's push it. Allez, let's push this boat out of the way. I am going. This is it. Goodbye, Cape Town. Goodbye. We hit the road. We are hitting the road, that's it! Let's go! This is it! Au revoir, au revoir, au revoir!